Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Medeek Truss plugin. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today I wanted to revisit this model that I recently used for the inclined wall tutorial for the wall plugin. As you can see, we have an attic truss set here with a small detached garage. I've gone ahead and put on the little dormer gable roofs and done a few other little things here, but primarily I just wanted to address some of the what I call insufficiencies of the truss plugin when it comes to dealing with attic trusses and attic truss assemblies. And I've added two new features that I would like to further show and explain here in this tutorial. So anyways, let's go ahead and first jump over to the layer control in the project plugin. And we're going to drop down to the layer control 1 for the wall as well as the roof here. Let's go ahead and close that out. You could do the same thing just by clicking all these, but it just saves me a little bit of time not having to click all the different visibility tags there. Okay, so we're at the bare bones of this little garage here, and the first thing that I noticed as I'm working on this is, well, first of all, I'm using some subtraction features, and I'll go ahead and turn those on here real quick. I added them to a hidden layer for the roof, just so I could hide them right here. Let's turn that on. Okay, so what do we got going on here? Well, basically, I'm using these two square boxes here over the dormers to cut the hole in the sheathing and cladding, which is all great and fine and dandy. Also, though, it is cutting the two existing trusses that are in the way. So it does remove those, but not entirely, right? And in fact, generally speaking, when you do an attic truss like this, you're going to remove these two trusses completely and then just ladder frame in between, as you can see what we've already done on the floor. But as you can see, it did not completely remove them. These other wedges here are actually used as part of the dormer subtraction. So basically it's just a small gable roof, and then I've added this solid here, which basically removes the framing and the rest of the dormer so that it's cut to fit to the roof. And then this one actually is not a subtraction object, it's a custom object, which I will discuss a little further, but let's deal first with these trusses. So generally speaking, you want to remove these two trusses. And as you can see, we need something to deal with that. So what I've gone ahead and done is I'm going to edit this truss assembly real quick. And if you jump in here, you'll see if you scroll down to the bottom of the advanced options for attic trusses, you're going to see two new options here. You're going to see a Gable Wall Cut, and you're going to see Remove Trusses. Okay, so what you can do now is you can actually remove specific trusses from the truss assembly. And just so you know, you cannot remove, this tool cannot be used to remove the gable end trusses. So you got these two gable trusses, right? One on each end of the assembly. Those cannot be removed by this option. All it will do is remove what I call the common trusses, starting at the front, which is 1 right here, and numerically all the way to, I think it's 15. So, and if you have any question too, what the truss number is, if you click into the assembly and you select any one of these trusses, you'll see here under the instance name, it'll say truss 1, and this one I think will say truss 2, truss 3. So we want to remove truss 4, truss 5, and let's see, truss 6 or 11 and 12. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put those in there. 4, 5, 11, 12. Okay, and there's no need to put spaces between the commas. In fact, I recommend that you don't do that. But you do need to put commas, because comma is the delimiter for these for this string. Okay, so go ahead, put that in there, hit update, and now what you'll notice after updates is that, in fact, let's turn off this roof hidden layer just so we can see things a little better. Okay, That's better. Okay, so you can see that those 4 trusses were actually removed from the assembly, and that's exactly what we want. Now, just be aware that it does not put in, that feature does not throw in ladder framing or anything beyond that. I mean, it's not adding anything in, it's just subtracting away from the truss assembly. So it basically is removing those 4 trusses. So that can be a convenient thing. And like I says, it can be any number of these trusses. It will, you can go ahead and specify which ones you want to have removed, and it will take care of it and remove them. Okay, so that's the first feature that I thought would be useful for attic trusses, because obviously with attic truss sets, a lot of times you want to put a dormer in like this. You put a dormer in, you've got to get rid of trusses. Okay, next thing is the gable ends. So if we go back to layer control real quick, and I'm going to just bring that right back up full. Let's just put it there and there. Okay. And so up until now, when you specify the gable wall sheathing and cladding, well, you can essentially turn it on and off, right? Let's go back into our edit truss assembly here. I don't remember exactly where it is because there's a lot of options here, obviously. But, oh, gable wall cladding. So right here, you can turn on the gable wall cladding, yes or no. And let's see here. Under sheathing, same thing. You can turn on the gable wall sheathing for the gable walls. The problem is with an attic truss, a lot of the times, you know, you want windows and doors in these gable walls, right? Currently with the way it is, I mean, there's no way to put a window or door like you can in a wall into these gable wall ends of these attic trusses. So essentially what you need to be able to do is basically cut the hole, and which you can do, by the way, with the subtract feature, and then add in what I call a hip wall from the wall plugin, and you can fill that space. The only problem is that, you know, creating the subtract feature, which you can do, which I did already here with this little test, you know, you can go ahead and draw that, add that in, and you can use it. It's just, and you know, you need to do it on both ends if you want to do both ends. The only problem is it's a little bit time consuming, and you have to work a little harder. So what I've gone ahead and done is created this gable wall cut, which essentially will take care of all that for you. I'm going to turn this off real quick. So if I go ahead and click yes on this, it will open up the attic truss on each ends. Let's go ahead and hit update. Okay, so there you go. So now you are primed and ready to put a what I call a hip wall into this opening. So let's go ahead and do that just so we can demonstrate exactly how that's done. So I'm going to first use the measurement tool just so I can get some basic measurements. I want to know how tall this wall is. Looks to be like 97 inches. And also I want the other key dimension I need to get is right here. Right? So I need to know that dimension. Okay, so now I know those 2 dimensions, and that should be enough. And I know the incline or the pitch of the roof is a 10-12 pitch. So then we just come along here, we click the hip wall, right? This one right here. Now, so all of these settings are going to need to be edited, right? So I'm going to go 10-12 pitch on this. And then the wall height on the left. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in exact just so everything lines up nice. Let's see here. I need to zoom back in here just so I can see that better. All right. So where are we here? 3, 6, 8, 4, 0, 3, 6, 8, 5, 9, 4. And you know, you can always edit these after the fact too. You can just add it in and then play around with the measurements here until you get it where you need it to be. Okay, so that should be good. And then I'm also going to, it's a 2x6 wall. You can probably leave this outside corner, it's not going to matter, but they're going to be end conditions anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and specify that. And then heathered moss, let's go khaki brown because that's what we've got with the rest of the siding. I think that's the only thing I need to update there. All right, now let's just go ahead and start at this end of the wall or the opening, left-hand side. And you're going to want to go, you're going to want your framing to be right there, not there. So we'll just click that spot. Zoom out. So you can see you're getting a preview. Let's click over here real quick and boom. That's it. Okay, so there we go. We've filled in that, we can remove that dimension. We don't need that anymore. We filled in that, that opening with a wall. Now, the first thing you notice is, well, heavens, the siding is no good here. It's misaligned. Yes, that is correct. So we can quickly edit the hip wall. And we have now this vertical offset. If we come down here to the cladding, you have a material vertical offset. So I'm going to try 2 and see what we get. That kind of shifts it. Let's try 4. Let's try 4.25. And just kind of have to test it a few times. And you know what? That looks close enough for my purposes. Yep, that's pretty much spot on. Okay, so now we lined up our siding. Don't have that to worry about anymore. And there you go. There's your, and I've actually gone ahead and did that already previously for this side. And so I've got a window here, and maybe I want to have a porch come out here. So maybe we put a door in this one. Okay. I don't know. So now we can drop windows, doors, whatever we fancy in these walls, because they're just regular walls, really. They're no different than any other wall in the model. But now we can actually put what windows and doors into our gable ends. Yeah. And let's just test, make sure that thing works, and it does. We can take a peek in there, and we can see that we've got ourselves a nice little attic space. Okay, very good. Yeah, so basically what that gable cut gives you is the ability to open up these ends without removing entirely the sheathing and the cladding. And then you can go ahead and use the wall plug-in and put your hip wall in place and then add your windows and doors. And that gets you a little further down the road than previously. And of course, with the truss removal feature, you can remove trusses for dormers. And again, that gets you further down the road. I mean, you know, there's always going to be a little bit more involved with ladder framing and other particulars with these attic truss roofs. So, you know, they're complicated. There's no way around that. Lastly, I think I just wanted to say, you know, please give me any suggestions at all with regards to these plugins. Sometimes I hop, you know, basically happen upon something. I'm like, oh, I need to fix that. But a lot of the times, a lot of these features are, you know, customer driven. So yeah, I always appreciate your feedback. Let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick with the sheathing and cladding all turned off now. I just wanted to show you what's going on, a little more detail with regards to those hip walls. So basically, you know, you've got a hip wall here. Now, first thing that jumps out at me is, why do we need that double plate? We don't. So let's go ahead and change that to a top plate quantity of 1. And we'll fix that. Yeah. All right. So we got that fixed. I think I already did that on the other side. So as you can see, you know, we're quite a bit further along now with the skeleton of this beast. Again, ladder framing would be something that you would have to add in, but beyond that, we're pretty close. Yeah. So I think these 2 new features should help with attic truss assemblies. All right. Well, thank you very much, and we will talk to you guys later.